Draft leagues is something that I've never done before, and recently I have been invited to join the BBR Draft League, which I gladly accepted, and I was very happy to see how professional and how hardworking the organizers of this event are, which makes me really excited for this upcoming few weeks. I am the coach of Nice Jynx. Shoutouts to Chirosha for this logo. Shoutouts to the organizers of the BBR Draft League, and I'm presenting you my draft. Because I was placed 11 out of 12 people, so I was picking my first Pokemon really late. A lot of really strong and broken stuff has been already picked, but there was still a few very decent options. And decent, I say with irony, because Houndstone arguably is the most broken Pokemon. Uh, it got banned in the first wave of bans together with Fluttermane, so it was one of the first two Pokemon to get banned in just the Smogon, OU tier period, right? And in that case, I thought that I can try to build a sand team around Houndstone, utilize its incredibly broken move, Last Respects. Besides that, we have options with Fluffy and all that stuff. So just Houndstone overall was one of the best picks from the banned stuff that was still available, for picking up. Obviously, we had to go with Titar to complement the ability of Houndstone to sweep through people with double speed in the sand, Sand Rush. I don't have to explain too much there. Also decent typing synergy, right? Resistant to Dark for the Houndstone, and Houndstone also Ghost. And Houndstone resisting, aka being immune to fighting for Titar, very nice. Titar arguably is one of the most consistent Pokemon to ever exist in the OU format since pretty much the beginning of tiering and the beginning of Smogon. Since Gen 4, it has been OU in pretty much every generation, falling to UU just a couple of times. So all in all, the GOAT, the absolute GOAT. Titar is so versatile too in the draft format, so many different sets. Support, Dragon Dance, Stealth Rock, just even spec sets, those crazy sets that have been running around lately in the OU ladder. At pick number 3, we have Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks complements well the first two Pokemon. Sandy Shocks overall having an electric type, Pivoter electric type with really good speed, really good special attack, unbelievably good Pokemon, ground type as well, which means that it doesn't take sand damage, being an electric immunity, access to dual hazard in Spike and Stealth Rock. Just phenomenal Pokemon, really great design too. Sandy Shocks was definitely a very good pick at number 3. I was surprised it wasn't taken before, so we had to get our hands on Sandy Shocks. Also a special attacker, considering the first two are mostly physical attackers. Pick number 4 is a Salamence that was originally a Meowscarada, and then I traded with Joey. Salamence provides us with ground immunity, because look at Earthquake and look at my team. Amazing ground immunity, being able to roost. Also, in Dragon type, which is always nice to have. Dragon types are fucking phenomenal. Ability to Dragon Dance, Intimidate, even Moxie Scarf sets potentially. Access to Roost. So a lot of different possibilities, and very versatile as well, which is very valued in draft leagues, of course, because every week I can pull up with a different Salamence, right? So Salamence also being a water resist for the team, which is really good. Pick number 5, the pesky Toxapex. Toxapex is something that I really dislike seeing when I'm on the ladder on the opposing side, and I would assume that it's gonna happen with my opponents in the draft league. Toxapex provides us with a bulky water, an ice resist, which is pretty important with the Pokemon we have so far, right? Toxic Spike immunity, aka Absorber, and the Toxic Spike setter, which is also really good too, because we also have sand. So if we have one layer of Toxic Spike, then sand damage does 18% every turn. It's just overall really really annoying to deal with, right? Then having access to Regenerator is just phenomenal. This Pokemon is really complementing the team so far, I believe. Also, again, being an ice resist is very important for us having Salamence 4 times weak to ice. Obviously, Sandy Shocks being weak to ice too. So in general, then Toxapex synergizes with Salamence pretty well too, because Toxapex is weak to ground, and we just, as we said, Salamence is a ground immunity for the team, switching to Earthquake. At number 6, we have Bronzong. Bronzong, another ground immunity, a steel type. There is not many steel types in this format anyway, just because from Gen 9 Pokemon and from the returning Pokemon, there aren't many great steel type options. And from what was left at pick number 6, Bronzong was definitely the best option. Another hazard setter, a very bulky Pokemon in general, you know, also possibility for versatile sets, you know. You can even run stuff like Grass Knot, Hypnosis, Iron Defense, Body Press, besides the usual, you know, Earthquake, Psychic, Stealth Rock. Bronzong, just very good pick. Being obviously also the Steel Psychic, which is unique typing for our team so far. And just overall, I feel like complements the team pretty well, you know, because we do have fire resists in Toxapex, in Titar, and Salamence, which yeah, being also an ice resist, also, you know, very good for the team in general. Number 7, I had a possibility to go a full stall route. For example, I wanted to pick up Hippo, Garnocrical, Ductrio, and just, you know, make a stall team from there, but I decided that it's going to be more fun if we do more offensively oriented later picks. Espeon is very good for the speed tier, you know, sitting at 110 speed is really good for my team overall right now. Plus, I don't have good hazard removal, aka none so far. So having a Magic Bounce user is just phenomenal for the team, right? Espeon in general, amazing utility, fast Pokemon, strong hitting Pokemon too. And with considering that I was able to get my hands on Espeon, I decided to choose the later picks having that in mind. Okay, at number 8 we have Cloister. Cloister, just phenomenal Pokemon, best shell smasher in the game. Cloister really does, I feel like, partners well with Espeon, because Espeon can set up screens, and then behind screens Cloister almost always has a pre-setup, and Cloister is incredibly dangerous. Plus, it is actually my first hazard removal on the team. It has access to Rapid Spin, which is very good, also an Ice type. And Cloister, opposition would have to prepare for Cloister a lot. Pick number 8, which is pretty late, I feel like. Yes, Cloister is not the highest tiered Pokemon, it is currently in RU, but it's definitely a giant threat anytime it is behind screens, and you have to prepare well for it and not let it set up, you know, which we will have a lot of opportunities with. So I believe getting a Cloister was an amazing idea. Then at number 9 we have Lucario. Lucario used to be a Breloom originally, then I traded it, managed to negotiate a deal for Lucario. Lucario is my Terra Captain too. Terra Captain, you can only have one Terra Captain on the team, and it has to have one of its original types as one of the Terra types, and another type has to be a different type outside of his original dual typing. So I decided to go with, obviously, normal. Normal is just phenomenal. Extreme speed spam, Swords Dance, extreme speed. Behind screens, it's going to be pretty easy to set up a Swords Dance. I had immense success in early UU, hitting, I think, peaking at number 13 or something in UU, having won most of the games with extreme speed, Lucario in general, you know. Just incredible Pokemon. With screens is going to be very good, reliable priority, that is just the best priority in the game, you know, extreme speed. So I decided to go with Steel type as my second Terra type, because I feel like it provides better resists than fighting, plus it can boost the Bullet Punch, so opens up possibility for like a Bandit set with Meteor Match, Bullet Punch, for example, you know. Just I feel like Lucario really adds a lot more offensive pressure to the current team that we have, because as you can see, it was a little bit more, I guess, bulky oriented before the Espeon pick, so I needed to really complement my team with some power, some immediate raw power, right? At number 10 we have Ductrio. Ductrio has not been picked up at that point. It has access to Arena Trap, which is banned in Smogon but is allowed in this draft format. So having Ductrio just at a really respectable speed tier, together with being able to put mental pressure on the opposition to maybe run arena trap, to run shed shell, or prepare better for the possibility of getting trapped. I think in general, Dugtrio is just an amazing pick for the team. It Mostly I picked it for the speed, but just overall utility is pretty good with Dugtrio too, because sometimes we can even maybe memento and sweep and set up easily with something, you know. Just in general, from the options that were left, was definitely a great choice. And at last we have Venomoth. Venomoth, very underrated Pokemon. I love moths, period. Venomoth gives us a bug type for the team as well, which is not obviously that necessary, but just another unique typing. Access to Sleep Powder is incredible. Quiver Dance together with Screens is just gonna go a long way, you know. Venomoth at the last pick is definitely one of the best options I could have picked, and I believe that this team overall provides me with a lot of different options. We're able to go a more defensive route, or we're able to go a more offensive route with Screens and so many setup Pokemon. So I believe the roster that we have, considering that we had such a late pick at 11th, we were able to build a really strong and threatening roster, in my opinion. This is the draft analysis for y'all. My name is Mefesto. I appreciate you